What's good, everybody? I'm Brandon. Hey bro, today we're about to do another video from Some Mo Gaming. This video right here is titled Bleach in 16 minutes. Sheesh. 16-minute video, so I'm not gonna pause it. If I have something to say, I'm just gonna speak over the video, alright? I'm not gonna pause it, it's already hella long. Anyway, shout out to this dude, Some Mo Gaming. He's hilarious. Remember I did the Naruto in 15 minutes? That video was a great video, great summary. Every time somebody died too. What did he say? R.I.P. No. Rest in peace. I think that's what he said. Yeah. Anyway, I'm ready hopping into it. We outside. We in Mother Nature. You feel me? I'm at the park. I got my shoes off. Got my feet touching the earth. Being blessed by Mother Earth. I'm putting my soles of your feet. I'm putting my soles on the earth. You feel me? But anyway, I'm ready hopping into this video, man. Let's go.
Seeing my comment section going like,
"Hey Mo, when's your next anime a minute? Hey Mo, where are the anime minutes, you slut? Hey Mo, I'm gonna eat that juicy ass of yours."
you want an anime minutes?
Oh, bro, I'm dead.
I got you. Niigata yoso no hoshi tachi no hikari. Whoa, 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 whoa. Niigata yoso no hoshi tachi no hikari. Whoa, whoa. In the beginning of Bleach, we got Ichigo Kurosaki, a purposeless protagonist. One night, Ichigo was just chilling, thinking about hentai, and that's when he meets Rukia, who randomly sneaks into his room. That's when Ichigo is like, "Please don't rape me." But we all know Rukia wasn't about that, and explains that she's a Soul Reaper, and that Ichigo is no regular human because he can see her in spirits. Just then, a hollow attacks, taking Ichigo's sister Karin. Rukia is then all like, "I got this," and saves Karin, and shortly after, the hollow goes for Ichigo, but then Rukia uses her secret technique, the human shield, defending Ichigo from the hollow's ferocious attack. Now that Rukia's health has depleted near to zero, she then says, "Yo, if you want to live, you gotta take my Soul Reaper powers." And Ichigo replies with, "Say no more." Accepting the powers. I, Strawberry Kurosaki, have purpose in this anime. And so, he goes for the slash! Taking out that hollow with ease. Moving forward, two Soul Reapers from the Soul Society, Renji and Byakuya, pull up to the world of the living and are like, "Hey Rukia, you have pulled one of the biggest taboos a Soul Reaper can ever make, and that is transferring your powers over to a human. So for that, you're gonna die." And so they end up trying to cut that bitch up, but soon after, the main character, of course, comes to the rescue, but ends up getting his ass beat and catching a few L's. Afterwards, Rukia, Renji, and Byakuya head to the Soul Society to perform a proper execution on Rukia, leaving Ichigo in critical condition. By the way, Rukia was the one who technically saved Ichigo by accepting her fate and suggesting that they leave the main character behind to bleed out and die.
Damn.
The main character could die by simply bleeding out.
Moving forward, Ichigo gets Nurse Joy by Kisuke Urahara, and that's when Urahara is like, "Want to enter the Soul Society? I got
Joy,
you. Come to my
man.
basement,
Pokemon.
big boy." So for this operation to rescue Rukia, Ichigo is joined by Brock, Misty, and Max. Okay, I need to stop with these goddamn Pokemon references. So for this operation, Ichigo is joined by his friends, Orihime, Uryu, and Chad, who also possess some type of supernatural power. Orihime has Shinshin Rika, Chad has Brasu Derecha de Gigante, and Uryu has Quincy powers, which is basically a nice variant to what Wind Archers have in Maple Story. So given the portal by Urahara, all four, five, including this cat, all enter the Soul Society. Well, that gotta hurt. While moving through the Soul Society, they end up bumping into this bitch, who gives them transportation, or a cannon, to shoot them into the Sirete, where the Soul Reapers live, and most importantly, where Rukia is located. As they enter the Sirete, they all end up getting split up into pairs. Since the Soul Reapers were ordered to get rid of the intruders, Ichigo encounters a Soul Reaper named Ikaku, and...
got him.
As a result of the victory, Ichigo manages to extract the information on the location where Rukia is being executed. And so he heads out, but as he's making his way towards Rukia, he is intercepted by Renji and had no other choice but to fight. And as a result...
got beat up again.
So this is when Renji explains his backstory with Rukia, basically going like, "Rukia is my childhood friend. It's all my fault Rukia is getting executed." And after concluding his story about Rukia and him back in the good old days, he then requests that Ichigo goes ahead to save Rukia. And so, once again, Ichigo heads towards the direction where Rukia is being held. But, as expected, another Soul Reaper cuts him off, and so this Soul Reaper is named Kenpachi, who's hungry for a good fight. The fight concludes with a stalemate, with both Ichigo and Kenpachi laying in critical condition. But no worries, the main character manages to survive.
Wow, what a fucking surprise.
Thanks to this cat.
Bruh. Yeah, well, by the way, this cat girl's name is Yoruichi. And with that out of the way, Yoruichi brings Ichigo to special training grounds to train him to obtain his Bankai. Basically, the level 3 powers of his Zanpakuto, or in other words, his sword. After several episodes of getting an ass beating, guess who unlocks Bankai?
Kimi Wakimi Takashita!
So with Ichigo having a mastery with Bankai, he's then like, it's time to rescue Rukia. So just as Rukia is about to get executed, Ichigo comes in clutch and sets Rukia free. He then tosses Rukia to Renji so Rukia can get the hell out of there while he takes care of the other Soul Reapers. But that's when Byakuya comes in like, oh no you don't! So with no other choice, Ichigo releases his Bankai. And he ends up winning the fight by destroying Byakuya's Zanpakuto. This is when Byakuya is like, the only reason why I allowed Rukia, my sister-in-law, to be executed is because I come from a noble family who honors the law and must set an example for other Soul Reapers. But since you have defeated me, bye-bye! So with that being said, Byakuya has deserted his task to pursue Rukia. And so Rukia is pretty much off the hook at this point. But wait! Did you really think it was all gonna end here? Think again! Because this is when 3 Soul Reapers, Aizen, Gin, and Kaname, arrive at Rukia and Renji's location. Aizen then gets his hand and shoves that shit through Rukia's chest, taking the Hogyoku that Urahara had implanted and hid inside of her. This item is able to transfer Soul Reaper powers to Hollows and vice versa. Shortly after, Aizen, Gin, and Kaname flee the Soul Society to Hueco Mundo, a dimension that resides between the world of the living and the Soul Society, and is also the habitat for Hollows. And by the way, they might be future villains later on, wink wink. So after that incident, the Soul Reapers no longer view Ichigo, Uryu, Chad, or Orihime as threats. And also, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu did have their own fights, but really, if it didn't include the true main character, does it really matter? And so, they return to the world of the living on good terms with the Soul Reaper. But right before doing so, Ichigo is gifted a substitute Soul Reaper badge, basically a badge allowing Ichigo to go into Soul Reaper mode without using soul candy like he always has been doing. And so moving forward, we got, oh my god, a filler arc! So moving past that atrocious filler arc, Ichigo meets Shinji, who's a visor. And if you don't know what a visor is, too bad. I'm just kidding. So basically, a visor is a Soul Reaper who has acquired hollow powers. And by the way, Ichigo has shown hints of having this type of power, but it really wasn't relevant till now. So with Ichigo technically being qualified as a visor, Shinji is like, hey man, you should leave the Soul Reapers and join my squad. But Ichigo briskly declines. Moving forward, 2 arrancar arrive in Karakura Town, Ukiura and Yami. And what is an arrancar, you ask? Well, to answer your question, it's a hollow that has removed its mask and obtained powers similar to that of a Soul Reaper. Oh, I really wonder who's responsible for this. This is when Chad and Orihime pull up after sensing their spiritual levels over 9! Oh hell nah, you ain't gonna finish that dead-ass meme. Well, after Orihime and Chad sense the arrancar's spiritual pressure, they rush to the location and engage them in battle. And it looks like Chad takes a fat L. Just as Orihime is about to get striked, you already know the main character is gonna appear.
He got his ass beat? Look like it.
Oh god.
Sheesh.
Oh god.
Sheesh.
Oh god. Oh god. This was a bit unexpected.
Right?
So this is when Urahara and Yoruichi arrive at the scene and pretty much scares the 2 arrancar off. Or maybe not scare them off, because Ukiura says they were sent by Aizen to gauge Ichigo's strength. And since Ichigo was seen as trash to them, there was no use staying around. With Ichigo feeling like a weak piece of shit, he goes to meet up with the visor, asking if they can teach him how to control his qualification. And they're like, all you gotta do is join! And with Ichigo being Ichigo, he's like, nah, I'm just here to use you guys. And so a fight breaks out, leading Ichigo to release his untamed qualification and choking this bitch out. But soon after, the visor restrains Ichigo and stops his rampage. After seeing Ichigo's qualification potential, they then decide to help Ichigo get a grip of his power. Moving forward, Ukiura was ordered by Aizen to capture Orihime because he had an interest in her powers, also threatening her friends' lives if she didn't comply. Ukiura then gives Orihime a 12-hour period before bringing her to Hueco Mundo, allowing her to say goodbye to one person. She is then instructed to wear this bracelet, which makes her invisible to everyone but the arrancar. And so she says goodbye to Ichigo before being taken prisoner by Aizen. Moving forward, the Soul Reapers inform Ichigo about Orihime and concludes that she has sided with the arrancar. Ichigo did not accept that, and so he gathers with Uryu and Chad and heads to Hueco Mundo through the Garganta that Urahara has opened for them. On their arrival, they meet 3 good-natured arrancar, Nel, Pesce, and Don Chaka. Shortly after, Rukia and Renji appear, using the arrancar's warm-looking pet, Bawa Bawa. They travel to Las Noches, where Orihime is being held. Now that they have arrived in Las Noches, they had no other choice but to go up against the arrancar elite forces, known as the Espada. But of course, they breeze through these fights no problem because after all, they all got that main character invincibility cloak equipped.
True.
never mind. Moving forward, the Espada Grimmjow sneaks Orihime out of her prison to heal Ichigo. Or maybe not heal, more like bring back from the dead, using her power to reject reality and basically rewind time before a certain event occurred. But the reason why Grimmjow did this is to get a proper deathmatch with Ichigo, because the last time they faced each other, he was forced to retreat before finishing their fights episodes back. What's funny is that I forgot to include this detail, so I'm including it now. Right. And so Ichigo unleashes his holification and beats that ass easy money. And you know there's another filler arc? What? I said there's another. I heard you the first time! For fuck's sake! Because these shits suck so much, I will skip them for the sake of this anime minutes. Thank me later and I will kiss you on the cheek. Shortly after defeating Grimmjow, two arrancar appear, Noitra and Tessera, and they end up picking a fight with Ichigo. And so, with Ichigo being at a weakened state, he takes a fat L. Nani? Where did Kenpachi come from? Nani? Kenpachi takes out Noitra? Nani? Orihime gets captured by an arrancar again? None! Alright, I need to stop. Well, moving forward, with many Soul Reapers besides Kenpachi pulling up to Hueco Mundo, Aizen uses Bakugo number 77 to contact them, basically using Bakugo number 77 as a fucking speaker to tell them that he lured them here, closing off the gargantas that they enter here through, and essentially trapping the Soul Reapers in Hueco Mundo. With that being said, Aizen leaves Hueco Mundo with Gin and Kaname to Karakura Town to create the Oken, a key to the Soul King Palace, which requires 100,000 souls to create. And basically, Aizen's plan is to fight the Soul King, to overthrow him and take his throne. But I have heard that Aizen just wanted to have a good fight, but I mean, yeah, I just saw that on the internet, but hey, let's move on. But little did Aizen know, Urahara has set up a plan to replace the real Karakura Town with a replica, and to post the 13 court guard squad captains in that fake Karakura Town. But as soon as Aizen arrives, he already knew what's up. He was like, yeah, this shit is all fake. And so Aizen summons his arrancar troops, and soon after the Vizier arrives, siding with the Soul Reapers with the intention to take down Aizen.
So Aizen is like the main villain.
Yo, tell me why this song makes me want to twerk. Moving forward, Ukiura is with Orihime planning to finish her off, because Aizen no longer has a purpose for her. But of course, the main character arrives at the scene once again. And so Ukiura and Ichigo have a spicy fight, even breaking the boundaries of this goddamn dimension. Meanwhile, the 13 court guard squad captains got a lot on their plate, and oh, for crying out loud, another filler arc?
Damn.
Yeah, I think I'm getting.
So how many seasons does Bleach have?
So,
they've had 3 filler arcs.
It's time to get into the good shit. Change. Well, moving forward, Ichigo is still in that juicy fight with Ukiura, pushing him to enter his full hollow form after being killed. Yeah, you heard me right. But with this form, Ichigo spreads Ukiura's cheeks like bread and drills, killing that bitch. But it looks like Ichigo goes down alongside with him. You know he's the main character, right? What are you talking about? Fucking hacks! After recovering, Ichigo heads down to do cleanup duty and attempts to take out the arrancar Yami. But in the midst of battle, Byakuya stops Ichigo, telling him that he must return to the world of the living, using the Garganta Mayuri created. And so after a bit of conflict, he goes through the Garganta with Netsu Unohana. While traveling through the Garganta, Unohana tells Ichigo he is the only one who can possibly defeat Aizen because he is the main character. I'm kidding. It's because Ichigo hasn't been exposed to Aizen's Zanpakuto ability, Kanzen Simon, or complete hypnosis, which is initiated through looking at the release of Aizen's Zanpakuto. This ability's influence is pretty much permanent and has the ability to hypnotize and manipulate all 5 senses. Unohana warns Ichigo to never look at Aizen's Shikai, or in other words, Aizen's Zanpakuto release. Moving forward, the arrancar get wiped out, Aizen's henchman Kaname gets killed, and Ichigo arrives in false Karakura Town and goes to strike Aizen right off the bat. But it doesn't seem to be working out so well, and so the Vizier and Soul Reapers help out the boy Ichigo, and ends up getting annihilated. Shizukani! Shizukani! With Ichigo being the final man standing, he goes up against Aizen once again. And this is when Aizen is like, check out my nipples, or my Hogukyu I fused with. Which essentially gives Aizen fucking god mode. Aizen then continues spouting out some bullshit, saying that he has forged Ichigo's path all the way till now, since the day he was born. This is when Daddy Kurosaki swoops in, and apparently he's a Soul Reaper. Shortly after, Gin arrives at the scene and takes on Ichigo while Ichigo's father Ishin takes on Aizen. As Ishin is fighting Aizen, Urahara and Yoriichi arrive to assist him in this battle. With Aizen being an OP-ass motherfucker, he then follows through and drills their cheeks with ease. Shortly after those ass drillings, Aizen then leaves with Gin to head to the real Karakura Town to forge the Oken, leaving Ichigo, Ishin, Urahara, and Yoriichi alive. Moving forward, Ichigo's father gives Ichigo one of those powerful Naruto speeches, saying even though they are too weak to defeat Aizen, they can't just stand around doing nothing, because everyone in Karakura Town will inevitably be slaughtered. And so Ishin opens the Senkaimon, enabling them to travel to the real Karakura Town. As they are traveling through the Senkaimon, Ishin notices the cleaner is no longer there in the Dangai. Essentially, the cleaner is there to kill anyone or anything from staying too long. And the cleaner is pretty much as durable as Diamond, but since Aizen got those OP hacks on, he destroyed that shit pretty easily on his way to Karakura Town. With that being said, Ishin decides to take advantage of the time distortion distortion in the Dangai to teach Ichigo the final Getsuga Tensho. And for those people who don't know the time distortion in the Dangai, I'm gonna tell you. Well, just look at it like this. 1 year outside the Dangai will equate to 2,000 years in here. So yeah, Ichigo kinda got a lot of fucking time on his hand. So moving forward a couple of episodes, Gin ends up turning on Aizen because apparently he and Rangiku were childhood friends. And Aizen ended up harming her a long time back, making him plot his revenge the day he affiliated himself with Aizen. But things don't go as planned. Shortly after the death of Gin, the boy Ichigo makes his appearance, and man did he get a buff after training in that Dangai. Just look at this disrespect right here.
Oh.
And so Ichigo and Aizen have their final showdown, resulting in Ichigo using the final Getsuga Tensho, smacking that bitch Aizen right in the mouth and taking him down. And to put the icing on the cake, Urahara uses his Kido to seal and apprehend Aizen. Knowledgeable of the repercussions for using the final Getsuga Tensho, Ichigo slowly loses his soul reaper powers and... Oh my god! For God's sake, another filler arc?
Damn. I thought it was almost over, to be honest.
Well, moving past those goddamn fillers, Ichigo had lost all of his spiritual energy, and so he says his farewells to Rukia. And that is the end of Bleach.
Alright. Bleach seemed like it was good. A lot of filler arcs. I think he named like 4. But other than that, it seemed pretty good. I see why. My sister thinks Bleach is the best anime. She said it's better than Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all of it. So, you know what I'm saying? I can see why I guess someone would say that. But I don't know if it's better than Dragon Ball Z. I don't even know if it's better than Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Cause that mess was fire, bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm about to go. Did a few reactions. The sun is still shining on me, being blessed by God. You feel me? But anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.